Coach, while we were waiting on questions, if you could take a minute to comment on your team as you enter the Mississippi State game on Saturday.
Well, we're glad to come off a bye week. You know, we went 8 straight, and glad that we had a week off last week. Playing a really good Mississippi State team. Will Rogers, I don't know if he could have played much better than he did against Kentucky. The offensive line's hitting on all cylinders for them. They've got wonderful wide receivers, 2 backs that can go, and their defense is so much improved off of last year, and they move on you. They play multiple fronts. You got really good linebackers, a wonderful nose guard. They're just a really good football team, and we are excited to play them here at home, though we haven't had many home games over the last few weeks, and excited to be able to get back in our stadium.
First, we have Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Good morning, Sam. I'm a little surprised we haven't asked you this yet, but your in-house analytics, what do they say about your balance, the pass run balance, and where you stand with that?
Well, we're running the ball more than we did last year, and we're doing it because we're having more success. But we're fairly close 50-50. But at the same time, we're just trying to do whatever we can to score points, and we're going to be a little higher this year running the ball because obviously we're doing it at a better rate. But if you look at us, Tom, analytics would not be necessarily the play call, but the result of the play. In other words, you know, we have 2 running options and a pass on most all our runs and better called. So it could be skewed a little bit, but we're a little higher run this year than normal.
And we saw Dominic out there with the first group in the fastball starts on Monday. I'm curious. You've got so many options at tailback. How's Traylon Smith doing? And it seems to me he's run pretty well this year too.
He has, and he's doing fine. I mean, you know, the bottom line is whoever you run out there with the first group, those are the guys that are supposed to be your best players at the time that they're running out there, and certainly think Dominique's earned that right, and Traylon Smith's doing well. He'll still play a lot of ball, but certainly feel like Dominique's earned that right to be the first guy run out there.
Next is Scotty Bordelon of Whole Hog Sports.
Thank you, Coach. You've mentioned in the past that Miles Slusher has been injured a lot since you've been here, and I'm curious what you saw from him, you know, in the days that he wasn't healthy that made you optimistic he'd play well when he was fully back on his feet.
Well, I think, you know, he obviously went through some camp healthy last year, off season, things of that nature. He was healthy, had a wrist early in his career that stopped him from being physical. So all those things, we just saw a big athlete that was smart, knew that if he could stay healthy, that certainly could help the football team. And so that's what we saw. We've seen it since he was in high school. He is a physical player and just hadn't had many reps. And we're very fortunate that, you know, he got healthy about the time that Catalan did not. So I think you'll see progression in him each and every week.
Thank you.
Next is Bob Holt, the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Sam. How you doing today?
Good, Bob.
Hey, Mississippi State, I think they're number 3 in the SEC in rush defense, about 89 yards a game. They held Kentucky to 71. You guys obviously have run well most of this season. How do you see that matchup?
Well, something's got to give, you know, because we're proud of what we do rushing the football, and they certainly have not allowed people to run it against them. a lot of reasons. They have a lot of talent over there. Love their schematics. They move a lot. They're multiple in their front. Very, very aggressive on third down, and the kids are playing extremely hard. So that's why to me, they get a lot of people to the ball against rushing situations. They get you behind the sticks early. We have to do a good job on first down because they're seem to me like their whole dynamics are geared around getting you in second and off schedule, and they've been able to do that a lot against teams.
And then in the preseason polls, and I know probably as a coach you don't pay much attention to those, but Mississippi State or Arkansas were usually 6th or 7th. You pick 6th or 7th in the West. I know in the media days it was Arkansas 6th, Mississippi State 7th, and here y'all are both 5-3. You both have multiple wins over ranked teams playing for bowl eligibility. What do you think that says about the SEC West and the depth?
Well, the West is a beast. I mean, all the SEC is. The West is what it has been for years. I think the portal is changing football a little bit. You can add some guys to your team that can help you significantly, like Mississippi State's done and like we've done, which gives a little bit more parity to the league, I think. But we're still, because we've only won one SEC game, we're still not there with Mississippi State because they've won several. I think they're one of the few teams that's beat 3 top 25 teams in the country, and with that being, that's a pretty darn good resume, and I think that's why they're ranked 17th in this latest poll that came out last night, and well deserving. But we'll see what happens. But both of us 5-3 should be a really good matchup.
Okay, thanks, Sam.
Next is Steve Moulton, WZZN.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well today.
Thank you.
My apologies if you were asked earlier in the week about this, but I really remember that last year's matchup and how emotional it was for your kids to get that first SEC win. Of what in that win kind of helped launch this program the way you want it to, Coach?
I think it helped the kids believe in us, in what we were selling, what we were telling them. I think that certainly helped. We caught Mississippi State at a great time. They'd just come off a huge win against LSU, but I think it just solidified that we can win SEC games, and whether it be Mississippi State or whomever. But I think it validated what we're trying to get done, and the early part of the season this year did as well. We lost to 3 really good teams in Auburn, Georgia, and certainly Ole Miss, and we're on track. But this is a big game for us.
How important is it to be multiple in an air raid style of offense? Because we hear so much about dropping 8. How important do you think from a defensive schematic to be multiple, even facing an air raid, Coach?
Yeah, I think you have to be multiple against all offenses, especially Coach Leach, because he's such a good teacher and such an offensive mind that Will Rogers is, to me, he's just an extension of coach out there. I mean, going 36 for 39 last week it's incredible. And but I think you have to switch the looks up on them, and you probably need to do that late. And he's got a look system, he's got a fast system, he slows down. I mean, he's got answers, and we're going to have answers to do as well. And to have answers of that, you have to be multiple, and you have to have different answers for different situations, and just like they do. But I don't think you can just sit down there in a drop 8 and go, okay, we're going to beat Mississippi State, because it's proven that doesn't work all the time.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, we'll wrap you up with a follow-up. Looks like Tom Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, you mentioned last week that you would take a long look during the open date at young receivers who might be able to move up. Any movement on that front?
Well, Bryce Stevens, we've moved him up to the slot position. That's really the only one. Keytron was already up, so we moved him up. We did look at Jaden Wilson a little bit. We will certainly travel him to the hotel as well. But those are our three young guys that we got a lot of looks at, with Bryce probably being the second most ready to play behind Keytron of that group.
Gotcha. And then in your time in Athens, did you form any relationships with any Braves folks, and any thoughts about last night?
Yeah, a good friend of mine, Jeff Grant, is a huge Braves fan and has a box and all that. And I texted him this morning, congratulated him, and he sent me back a video of that he was in Houston last night watching the games. So, we would go to Braves games when I was employed there at the University of Georgia, and I really enjoyed it. So congratulations to them. But yeah, Jeff Grant's a really good friend of mine, and he had attended all those World Series games.
Thanks, Sam.
All right.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.